You're in. Boom.
All right.
Hello,
Hey.
everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. Hello,
Hey.
everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, we had an echo there for just a second. Sorry about that. All right. Hey, everyone, and welcome to Queer and Present Dangers charity stream hosted by Fool's Moon Entertainment, Inc. In this 36-hour, mostly nonstop stream, we are playing several games for your entertainment. All that we ask is that you, our audience, help us reach our donation goals for the benefit of several LGBTQIA+ charities all over the world. All donations will be given out to the charities, but that's not all your donations can do. During each of these games, we are going to be running some slightly different ways that you can help some of our players. This particular one, we use a system called Momentum and Threat. For a donation of $10, it will allow you to add to our momentum pool, which the players can use to re-roll dice or add dice to their pools. And for $20, you can give me, the Dungeon Master, more threat.
Ooh.
Remember, folks, your donations help your favorite LGBTQIA+ charities, and you can even interact with our games. So without further ado, my name is Rezo, and I'm going to be running Star Trek Adventures, a game by Modiphious. And I will now introduce my players, starting with Captain Bold.
Hello. My real name is Salim Akima, but I'm playing as Captain Bold. This is my first Star Trek game. At least the first one live stream. We did a couple of practice sessions, so
You did very well.
thank you. I'm a very bold captain. I like to live dangerously.
Yeah, I like the pun. Moving on to our Chief Security Officer.
Hello, I am Essie, or Aaron Spencer. I'm the lead content creator over at ESPD&D and Aaron Spencer Productions, and I will be playing Chief Security Officer Esper Selena, because I am a Bajoran, and the names are reversed. My pronouns are she, her. My character's pronouns are she, her, and I'm excited to get started. When last we played, well, there was an incident on deck, and I'm excited to pick up in that aftermath of the security incident.
All right. And the ship's helm officer.
Hello there. My name is Bonnie, but here I will be playing the Denobulan Lieutenant Anari Mosag. I am the helm officer and ops, so when you need to go fast, you got it. Dice permitting, of course.
Of course. And quick question, I have my tech support person here.
I'm popping out, but
okay.
What's up?
Oh, I just wanted to introduce you. This is my tech support for the game today.
My name's Lena Kelly. I'm IT for Fool's Moon Entertainment, and I'm going to be popping out here. But enjoy the game, everybody. Remember to donate. We have great causes that this money is going to, and I hope everybody has fun too. I'll be watching. So,
bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Take care. All right. From most people's point of view, from last we left off, there was an incident in Earth orbit where a arriving shuttle with the ship's new doctor encountered basically an entity. That was resolved easily, and the ship has resumed its shakedown cruise. 1 year tour of the Federation. However, today we joined the crew as they are racing to a planet on the far reaches of Federation space near what is known as the Shackleton Expanse. Admiral Shidori, one of Starfleet's finest, has commissioned the crew to investigate a illness on a world that has recently gained warp capabilities within the last 3 years. However, that particular race has rejected Federation's offers for help in the past. So it was most surprising when they reached out to contact the Federation for help with this illness. They believe the advanced medical technology of the Federation can help. And since the offer has come from a warp-capable species, the Federation has agreed. Your ship, the USS Allen Hart, which is a steamrunner class ship, usually too small for a mission like this, was outfitted with an advanced sickbay, making it one of the perfect vessels for this excursion. So we joined the crew as the ship is reaching this star system.
Very good. It appears we have arrived in the star system, Captain.
Very good. I'm eager to hurry up and cure this mysterious illness. By the way, did we get any like a report on the illness itself?
On the illness, no. It's been pretty vague, the information you've been getting from this species. The species is known as the Warl. They are a feline-like species, not unlike the Pharosin, which you find close to Klingon space. For those who are not sure what the Pharosin are, they are ferocious cat-like creatures, humanoid.
What is this species called?
This species is called the Warl.
How do you spell that?
Yeah.
I don't know because I just made it up off the top of my head.
Okay.
So WARAL?
Sure.
World?
Rawr.
The Warl. It's probably WHARL, the Warl.
That's exactly what I wrote.
Nice.
Captain, I'm going to run a full systems scan of the surrounding atmosphere and see if there are any other ships, just to be sure. Perimeter security, of course. Gonna pull that up
As it is customary, you have dropped out of warp at the edge of the system. Before we proceed with the system scan, is there any other questions you guys would like to ask? You have had 36 hours of maximum warp to get here.
Let's see here. So this is near Klingon space.
No,
Klingon.
this is near the Shackleton Expanse, which is
Shackleton.
on the other side of Klingon space.
Okay.
That's where the
I believe-
live campaign is happening, right?
That is correct. This is very close to where the live campaign is happening.
So our chances of any sort of confrontation with Klingons is very limited, correct? Or
Correct.
okay.
The Klingon incident has recently ended, and with your returning of the Klingon diplomat, even though he did die in honorable combat with your security officer,
Mhm.
The Klingon threat seems to have died down a little. You were allowed to pass through Klingon space without issue.
Okay.
Do we know who we will be hailing to communicate to help this new species?
There is a Prime Minister Kachan, and he is currently the one that is asking for aid, and he is the ruling body of the government currently of the planet.
Very good.
Do we have any other information about the disease too? I think we would want to do as much research on.
It's vague symptoms is all that you've gotten so far.
Okay.
What are some of the symptoms that we have received?
High fever, respiratory distress, actual skin irritations, boils, and of course death.
Ugh.
Currently, the death toll is in the millions.
So we don't have a medical officer playing with us right now, right?
That's correct. It will
Okay.
be run by the NPC Chidori. Chidori is the granddaughter of Shidori. So she is also a Renardian. For those who don't know what a Renardian is, it is a race that I created for Star Trek. While they prefer the she, her pronouns because of their looks, they themselves do not have a single gender. They are bigendered species. They also, what was revealed last week, unfortunately you weren't here, Aaron, for that, but what was revealed last week was that the Renardians have 2 circulatory systems and a pair of vestigial wings. Second circulatory system moves a metallic-like substance through their bodies and acts as a cooling system, as in they don't have sweat glands. They basically release heat, more like a cold-blooded creature. Otherwise, they look completely human.
I would put in a request for the medical officer, Chidori, to cross-reference the symptoms with known diseases on other planets that we've had that the Federation has had contact with.
She can do that easily during the 36-hour downtime, and during that, unfortunately the results, there's just too many. There are too many diseases that match the profile with the limited information. She's got to get blood samples.
All right. So our primary goal is to make first contact and acquire some blood samples and more concrete evidence of what the disease is, so we can diagnose it.
That is correct.
Very good.
With that, then we will pick up with dropping out of warp and scanning the system. Captain, I will have you roll for the ship, and it will be sensors and security, as I'm assuming you're doing a security sweep of the system. And Aaron, if you would please give me a control security roll.
I succeed with a 2.
I should probably be on the dice channel so I can read those. Okay, so the ship definitely succeeded with a 2.
Okay.
Aaron?
And that's 2d20?
It is 2d20.
Okay. So it's lower numbers are better, right?
Correct. The 15 just barely makes it. So
Okay.
you've gotten 2 successes between you and the ship. That will let you know that there are currently 5 warp-capable ships in the system. All of them match vaguely what Starfleet intelligence knows about this particular race, the Warl. So they are all Warl ships. It does look as though they are attempting to better their technology, but right now, what you're looking at is no match for your ship.
Captain, would you like to open up tight beam communications with either the planet's surface or these 5 ships in orbit?
Yes, we should go ahead and hail the ships and let them know we're proceeding to the planet to assist them.
Sorry, I should be a little more specific. They are in the system. They are not in orbit of the main planet. It does look like several of the ships are in orbit of another planet, doing some research. One is in orbit of a moon for another planet, we'll say the 7th, and another one is actually heading your way.
We can still hail them, correct?
You can.
Yeah. So I guess we would just hail the one that's in our direct path or along it, just so they know who we are. So it's just like a friendly high wave as we proceed to the planet.
Sending friendly hails their way.
Very good.
This is not a difficult task, but you can roll and possibly gain yourself some momentum.
Sure.
Do it well.
What am I rolling for?
Okay, so you'll be rolling control and con, which is a 15 for you.
Control and con.
The ship can roll comms and structure. I'm sorry, comms and con. My bad.
And I got a 10 and a 1. Nice.
That's our first critical success. So far, you guys are at 3 successes. Does somebody want to roll for the ship?
Yep. 1 second.
Rolling a 1 is very, very helpful.
It definitely is.
I will try to do that.
Okay.
I rolled a 1, but it has a 3 in it.
However, that is 4 successes. So I was going to give you most definitely 4 momentum, since that was a task of 0. So your pool is growing, and that did not update.
There it is.
There we go.
All right. Nice.
Also, I did forget this as well.
That's beautiful.
So, on screen appears one of these Warl. The Warl are, like I said, a humanoid race with very cat-like features. You notice that they've got a bushy beard, kind of a mane going on, an elongated snout, and their skin is dark with stripes on it. This man does not, however, look like any type of military officer. He is dressed in a business suit. And it also does not look like he's transmitting directly from the ship. It looks like he is tight beam transmitting to the ship, and the ship is forwarding to you. And he says, "Hello, my name is Musk.
Ooh,
I
my-
am the head of Pride Heavy Industries. You are violating our space. Explain yourself."
Hello, my captain. Hello, my name is Captain Byron Bold. I'm from Starfleet. I'm here to assist with the disease on your homeworld. I don't mean to violate your space, but I was invited here.
Disease on our homeworld? You are mistaken. There's nothing here. Return to your space, or we will fire upon you.
Keep an eye out to see if they charge any weapons.
Yes, Captain, would you like me to raise the shields?
Go ahead, raise the shields.
Shields up.
The ship goes to yellow alert. People start responding to the alert and going to different stations. Shields raise.
That's awfully aggressive response to friendly hello.
We encountered your species in deep space years ago, and we told you we want no part of you.
I see, but unfortunately,
Unless you count the liver. I hear it's very tasty.
I haven't partaken in the liver. We were invited here by Prime Minister Kachan, so
Kachan. He may rule our government, but our planet is one of capitalism. You'll find I have far more influence than the Prime Minister. Trust me, you do not wish to tangle with our newest warship.
oh,
Turn back.
I very much don't. However, I should definitely go see Kachan and make sure he's doing well, as he did request me personally, or request Starfleet assistance.
He's behind a desk. He slams his fist down on the desk and he says, "I will not allow you to violate our space or our privacy. Your scanner technology may be good. Scan us from there and then leave."
Esper, can you conduct another scan?
Captain, would you like the lieutenant to open up another beam to Prime Minister Kachan?
Oh, yes, as well.
LT?
So you're going to try to contact Kachan via tight beam communication?
I will do the scan while she does that.
Okay. So Captain Bold, I'm going to have you roll for the ship in both instances, but we're going to start with the scan. All right, and that's going to be control security.
I got a 5. That definitely succeeds.
10 and a 2. Excellent.
You also have constantly watching. Did you open the talents document
Yes.
I sent you?
Let's see. I have the character sheet.
Yes. So you reduce the difficulty of that task by 1.
Okay.
That is 3 successes. Jeez, you guys are really building the momentum up. That's going to be another momentum.
Start spending that.
Oh
Yeah.
you guys might want to start spending that.
Yeah,
gonna
we'll
start
be spending it
any
quick.
minute now. The first thing that you notice with your scan is that you can now no longer scan beyond that ship. In fact, it looks as if the entire star system is just gone. An easy conclusion with that is they are deploying a sensor dampening field. Now, with that information, Lieutenant Anari Musad, you are trying to make a tight beam communication, but with the information you've just learned, it's going to be an extremely difficult task. Getting through there jamming is probably going to take a difficulty of 4.
I see. So I'll probably need to spend a momentum to get that, correct?
You'll probably need an extra die, yeah.
I would also try to assist with my advisory talent.
Okay,
Nice.
let me have a look at that real quick. There are just so many talents in this game.
Whenever you assist another character using your command discipline, the character being assisted may reroll 1d20.
Okay, so then what you're going to be doing is instead of the ship stats, you're going to use your own stats. It's going to be command and con.
Okay.
I don't
I'm
see.
sorry, it's going to be control and command.
I don't see an extra sheet in my DMs. Was it somewhere else?
The talent sheet.
Mhm.
It should have been linked in Discord. I will link it now.
Thank you. Pull that up. Got it. Thank
What
you.
am I rolling for?
You are also going to be rolling con and control.
Okay.
So control con for the helm officer, control and command for the captain.
Okay. Control and command. I got a 4.
I got 12 and 10.
Did you want to spend the extra momentum for a third die?
Oh, that's right. Yes, I did.
Okay. We'll go ahead
So
and take
I will
that
just
away.
roll one more d20 for 4.
All right, excellent. So that's the 4 you needed. At first, you can see Musk kind of flicker off the screen, and then finally the screen comes up with a very fuzzy picture of an older gentleman. He's definitely got gray in his mane, and he's like, "Yes, hello."
Hello. I am Starfleet Captain Byron Bold. You requested Starfleet assistance with some sort of disease.
Yes, it is afflicting my people. We definitely need your assistance. Please make your way to our planet.
I'm currently being blocked and threatened by a Mr. What's his name?
Musk.
Musk.
Totally not a reference to another billionaire. I want to be clear.
We would
Awesome.
not do that.
In fact, that guy's first name is Leon.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Leon Musk.
Is there any assistance you can provide with getting me around Mr. Leon Musk?
Unfortunately, he commands several ships in our system. If he is attempting to block you, I cannot stop him. Our government ships are not as powerful as the heavy industry ships that he has built.
I see.
This situation is dire. I hereby give you executive privilege to dispatch of any ships that are attempting to keep you from aiding us. We desperately need your help.
All right. Is there something I can roll to tell him and see if he's lying or not?
Yes, you can roll insight. Let me
Insight.
see. It'd be insight and command. For you, that is a 13.
11 and 3.
And then 3. And you also have deductive reasoning. From what you can tell, he is telling the truth.
I see.
Captain, if I may,
Yep.
Mr. Musk said that the society runs on, well, capitalism. This means that trade would be a considerable weak spot for him. Perhaps there is something we can offer, or something that we know that they need.
Good plan. I have an idea. I'm going to call Mr. Musk.
Okay. I mean, that's fairly easy since his ship
Alright.
is right there. He pops right back on screen.
Captain, before you do,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just in case, would you like me to prepare the phaser array or torpedoes?
Phasers, but I don't think that'll be necessary. I think I know how to speak capitalism.
I'll pull up the just as on standby.
Just remember, the Federation has not used capitalism in over 200 years.
Trade,
Now
perhaps.
they use trade, trade and diplomacy.
Yeah. All right.
That's why
So
the
when-
Ferengi walk all over them.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm about to bring up.
I've got my hand on the command pad for the phasers.
Are you charging the phasers?
Not yet.
No.
Okay.
Not yet. I have my hand ready. I have the whatever subscreens I need to bring up, but we are not charging phasers yet.
Okay, good.
All right. Hello, Mr. Musk. So,
Why is your ship still here? I see that you have conducted your scan. Now leave.
well, it appears that Prime Minister Kachan is very serious about this disease, and if you're willing to take the loss in profits, when people die, you also lose profits. So, if you don't go there,
his
and aid,
eyebrows, you just watch his eyebrows knit together, and he's like, I'm losing no profit. Kachang is a politician. He's using you.
Let's see. Well, I guess I have to verify it with my own eyes. As it'll just be a short trip there, I'll look around and I'll come back. And
I
hey,
told you, if you enter our system, we will consider it an act of war, and we shall destroy your ship.
let's see. Quite puzzling.
At
I-
that moment, two ships that did not appear on your scanners arise.
Are they also of the
Of the
Same
heavy
race?
industry variety, that's correct.
Yeah,
I have spent two
correct.
threat and called in reinforcements.
I see.
Ooh.
And all three ships are kind of charging their weapons.
Captain,
Let's see. Shields are up.
shields are up. Phasers are not charged.
All right. Let's see.
Readying the ship for evasive maneuvers if necessary.
Yep. Should probably begin those evasive maneuvers as they don't seem to be letting up. And I do believe it's Starfleet protocol they're willing to go assist those in need, right?
Well, see, you've been given two stories.
Yeah.
One is everything's fine, but that is coming from a hostile entity. And the other is we need help desperately, and that's coming from somebody who seems to lack the power to do anything about it.
Can I check and see if the Musk is lying?
You can. Same roll.
Considering he told us to scan the planet and then proceed to jam our scanners.
Yeah. I like to double check to be sure.
Did too.
That's going to be two successes. Oh, yeah, he's lying on his ass.
I see. Well, Mr. Musk.
But he's bluffing very, very well.
Captain, our options seem to be make for the planet and hide the ship via evasive maneuvers, or attack 3 heavy class warships.
I will attempt to threaten him.
They're, just so you know, they're heavy class warships. They may outsize your ship, but the power coming off those ships is a tenth of the power that you have.
Okay. I'm going to tell him, Mr. Musk, you have never been in a fight with a Starfleet vessels. The Klingars have often been fights with us, and their ships are way more deadly than yours. The size of my vessel may be less than the 3 of yours, however, our power triples in size compared to yours. You won't win this fight.
Are
Can I
you
also-
threatening us?
Can I also assist with my bold security?
You can.
I will just look over at the captain and nod affirmingly. That's correct, Captain. We have them outnumbered as far as firepower and maneuverability 10 to 1. And that is bold security. And I'll help.
Whenever you attempt a task with security and you buy 1 or more d20s by adding threat, you may re-roll a single d20.
Oh, never mind. Never mind then.
I will make that threat.
Oh, we get that.
Oh,
Wow. Wow.
I fought mini
Okay.
Klingons.
Holy shit.
Well,
I'm gonna see just how he takes this.
Captain, would you like me to charge the phasers for intimidation?
Sure.
Charging phasers.
He's like, this is outrageous. This is preposterous. I don't even know who these Klingons you talk about are.
Well, you're welcome to go right over there and meet them. I'm sure they're way more nicer than I am.
He's like, you have been warned for the last time. Prepare to die. And the screen just blanks off, and the 3 ships begin moving into attack formation.
Evasive maneuvers.
you got it.
All right.
Can you disable their weapons with
Disabling their weapons.
Can we disable their weapons?
You can try.
blast them off their ship
that
real
will-
fast?
I mean,
That
I'm
will
ops.
increase
So.
the difficulty of the shot if you are attempting to disable them.
All right.
But that
I
is
will-
possible with phasers.
I will.
It's
attempt
up to you,
assist.
Captain.
Yep.
Okay.
Aim to disable their ships.
So
Don't
you
need it.
wish to assist, or do you want the ship to assist?
I will assist.
You will assist. So you would be using control and command, while the tactical officer will be using daring and security.
Okay. And I will be rolling 2d20s.
You'll be rolling 1.
Okay.
You are assisting.
Right.
By the way, this will take up both of your turns.
6, 14.
And 4.
6, 14, 4.
Well, that's going to do it. All right, so you're going to hit. You're going to need to roll for the phaser array 7 d6s. Remember, 1s are 1s, 2s are 2s, 3 and 4 is nothing, 5 and 6 is 1 with a effect. Oop,
Right.
nope, you don't need the OL, I don't believe. There you go.
1, 1, 1.
Holy buckets.
6, 1, 2, 1, 2, 5, 1. So 3 1s, 2 2s.
Okay,
That's pretty good.
so the first ship, you're like, I'm going to disable this thing. You fire phasers, and you just watch the phaser beam hit the prow of the ship, and then you see it pass out the back, and then the ship just, the structural integrity is just gone, and it just blows apart.
Oh.
Now, there's not a nice big explosion like you were expecting from like a, you know, when you've battled the Klingons recently, their ships tend to explode in big fireballs. No, the hull of this ship just disintegrates. Obviously, it was not held together with any type of powerful structural integrity field, and their energy source was not very good. That or they ejected it at just right at the right moment, because there's no boom. It just disintegrates.
Oh, no.
Wow.
The other 2 ships, I am going to roll to see if they're even going to attempt to stop you after that display. They succeeded, so they are going to attempt to fire at you.
Lock
the
onto
first
the other ships.
Yes, Captain.
Okay, they're gonna hit. Let's see how lasers do against your shields. Wow, three threes, nothing. Doesn't even hit you. It's like it hits you, but it like just flashes off of your shields.
All impacted on the shield, Captain.
No damage reported.
Are you sure? All right. Well, I guess return fire and proceed.
So you can do a tactical scan of these ships to find out just how much weaponry they have.
Oh. Let's do a quick tactical scan so we don't blow up any more ships with a warning shot. It'd be good research data as well.
Yes,
So-
I don't think we quite expected that ship to go, kablooey.
So the only one of you that hasn't gone this round is actually Lieutenant Mossad. So what would you like to do for your round? Would you like to do a tactical scan? Would you like to do evasive maneuvers?
The tactical scan actually. 'Cause
Okay.
It really doesn't seem like they have much much. It seems like they're all bark, no bite.
I think they are a lot of
Are
bite,
they-
but we're just,
Are they
We're a
all
tank.
roar and no bite?
All roar and no claws.
Yeah.
But yes, I think I want to do a tactical scan of the remaining ships because there might not be any need for evasive maneuvers.
All right. So you're going to be rolling control and con.
Okay.
Somebody can roll for the ship. There's going to be sensor security. It's going to be 1 die.
Captain, you want to handle the ship?
4 and 4. That's pretty good.
What do we got for the ship? 14. Not enough. Okay. So you scan these ships, and do you remember the scene in Galaxy Quest where the guy's like, fire the red lasers, fire the blue lasers, fire? That's what these guys have. They have lasers on different color spectrums attached to the ship. However, you are detecting that each ship is equipped with a tactical nuclear warhead.
So, how bad of a hit would these things punch?
Back during the Earth Romulan War, before Starfleet was founded, or before the Federation was founded, they basically threw these at each other blindly because they didn't have view screens, and they did some massive damage. Since then, starships have been built with better shielding, better armor. It would be about like being hit by a low-yield photon torpedo.
Okay. And
Right.
each of these have only one of them, correct?
Each of them have only one.
So other than a single nuclear missile apiece, they don't have much in the way of weapons.
Red lasers and blue lasers. A couple green on the back.
Are those the engines for them?
No.
Okay, it just seems really odd they have one. All right.
Oh, the nuke?
Yeah, they only have one of those. It seems odd.
No, it's because of the size. They haven't
Okay.
been able to miniaturize the size.
Ah, it's a large nuke.
It's
And-
literally like a last resort type of firing.
Yeah, and on the top, so imagine if you strapped an intercontinental ballistic missile to the bottom of your ship. It's still fairly large. That's what they've done. They've got one of their continental missiles in their torpedo tubes, and that's it. That's probably
Oh.
what they consider making this a heavy cruiser.
Well, we better disable them to make sure our ship doesn't take any actual damage.
So you're going to continue to fire for disabling. All right.
Yes.
The other ship is going to take a shot. Only this time they are going to launch that nuke. And they are going to hit.
Captain, massive heat signature incoming. Brace for impact.
Can I use my talent of glancing impact?
Yes, I believe you can. Let's go to that real quick. Glancing impact. You have not used the evasive action task, unfortunately. So the ship is going to take 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. Let's see. That even gets through your resistance. It does. So 2 is going to go through. Okay, that's going to go to the structure. All right. So you have taken 1 structural breach. Basically, that's. Oh no, I'm sorry. I apologize. That did not get in high enough. That is going to take off 2 shields.
Ah.
Otherwise, your shields are still doing pretty good, and no radiation.
That's definitely
Radiation.
good.
Shield still holding. How many shields do we have left?
8, 9, 10.
And you have 10 left.
10. 2 of the shields went down, Captain. 10 remaining.
Oh,
Actually, you like try to make that a percentage. So you've lost about, what was that, 1/6?
So shields are holding at 80%.
Yeah. Shields are holding at 80%.
80%. So it's either 0% or 80%. Seems like we're doing pretty fine in this fight. Should we ask for the surrender again? Do you think that'll work out well?
I think so, Captain.
All right. Hail the other 2 ships. Next turn.
Well, the round moves over, and so which of you would like to act first?
I'll hail the other ships.
You'll hail the other ships? Okay.
Yeah.
That's easy. They come up on screen. You can see a very worried-looking female Whirl at the command.
Hello?
But she looks no less aggressive than Musk does.
I think you just shot us with your best weapon. So can we just stop this now and we'll just continue on and you just pretend like you didn't see us?
She says, I am under orders to destroy you. I will lose my job if I do not destroy your vessel. Or at least chase you off of our system.
All right. Well, let's just say you're going to chase us off this world, air quotes, by staying here for like a good 8 hours maybe. And then we'll come back and then we'll pretend to run away as you chase us. Sound fair?
You have killed my countrymen. I cannot allow you to escape.
I'm terribly sorry about that. I was aiming to disable the weapon room, and our gun is too powerful. So,
Yeah, they don't have shields.
Thanks. Ouch.
She's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I must destroy you at any cost.
You could always tell her that she could lose her life instead, Captain.
yes, you always have your life. So even if you lose this fight, you can always come back and try again later.
Yes, but I will have no job.
But you can always find another job. I mean, Starfleet's always hiring.
The screen just goes blank.
Oh, goodness.
Well, that will be Captain Bold's turn. On their turn,
I tried.
why is this?
I believe there's a saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink.
You have
I'm not
horses
sure what
on the
I'm not sure what a horse is, but it seems to work out.
So,
Nobulans don't keep pets.
You are going to actually get an alert at the helm console for a proximity alert as they attempt to close the distance.
I see.
Proximity alert, Captain. We need to fire.
They are moving very rapidly into close range. Let me just make a quick check.
We should turn and burn and fire.
Or we could simply give them something to chase.
What are you proposing?
If these ships are as well as flimsy as they appear, it's entirely possible we could simply simply run rings around them. They might end up losing all of their power and be adrift.
Is that possible? Or
I can always.
That's
I'm-
really dependent on what they're using for a energy system for their engines.
Indeed.
Their
Most
weapons appear.
starships.
Their weapons are archaic and they have no shields. It's entirely possible they're using a limited fuel source.
That is possible, especially since the other ship went up without a big bang, which you would expect from a matter-antimatter reaction. While these ships definitely have warp nacelles, they may not be capable of actually going to warp. And by the way, the nacelles on these ships are two big rings, one in the front and one in the back.
Okay.
This is a Vulcan design, or very similar to some of the old Vulcan designs.
I like your line of thinking, Anari. However, we shouldn't waste too much time as we have lives to save on that planet. So
That is true.
I say we just go forward and we just fire our best shot and hopefully they don't die this time.
Yes, Captain. On my turn, I'll try to disable.
All right, so who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
By the way, they actually failed to close the distance with you, so they are still at medium range.
Captain's orders: return fire, try to disable.
Okay. Roll your dice.
Okay.
Also, the ship can roll weapons and security. Sorry, weapons and security.
Wow.
So the ship got 2 successes,
10 and 2.
and you have 3 successes. Oh my goodness. Jeez. Whoops. You are at maximum momentum at the moment. Would definitely recommend spending some of that pretty soon. In fact, you can spend momentum right now to increase the damage die if you wish. Although I do know you are trying to fire to not blow them up. So what would you like to do?
It's up to you, Esper.
It is your turn.
Captain said to disable, so we're gonna hold on to that momentum die.
Okay. All right, roll your 7d6, please. That's okay. So this time you hit the ship, and it's a very similar reaction, except you bring the phasers across the the rear warp ring, and you just saw it off with the phaser, disabling the ship.
Ship disabled, Captain.
Definitely not going anywhere.
Very good. 1 out of 3.
Thank you, Captain.
Actually, that's, well, I guess, yeah, you've disabled 1 out of 3. You destroyed 1 out of 3.
Positives. Positives.
It's you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Oh my. I've not been paying attention to the chat. My apologies. Let's see.
Oh, as chat said
Oh,
nice
dear.
things to us.
I see a couple interesting comments, yes. I was hoping that they were keeping track of any possible donations for extra momentum or anything like that. I'm not seeing anything.
Lasers?
What is chat
And-
saying? Because I can't see it.
Well, we've got one of our mutual friends in chat. They're firing lasers. Fringe is like Picard lasers.
I said across her nose, not up it. That's my favorite.
I guess I'm juggling like 6 windows here.
I
Sorry
believe
about
that is all. I believe that is all I can do on my turn.
that is correct. So you have
Okay.
disabled one ship, you have destroyed another, and I am going to check to see if that is going to scare off the third ship, or if they are just going to drop a nuke. No, they succeeded on there. Okay, so they are going to attempt to fire a nuke at you.
When are they going to learn? Can I now do my evasive maneuvers?
Yes, when it is your turn.
Ah.
Sorry. It's a back and forth.
I forgot.
It's okay. However, they're going to miss. You know what? I'm actually going to spend threat and re-roll that. Just re-roll that 1d20 there. Yeah, no, they're still going to miss. They're going to miss worse.
Is it?
So you see this nuke like just cruise past the ship at like low speeds, and then off in the distance somewhere, there's a fireball, an explosion.
Oh, miss, Captain.
Hopefully, no one got hurt.
Ship kind of shakes a little bit as the shockwave hits the shields. No damage. And now it would be Anari's turn.
Any radiation from there?
The radiation is minimal. Your shields are easily able to cope with this particular type of radiation. It's just a gamma ray burst. Your warp core puts out more gamma rays a second than that thing puts out.
That is the second and last of their weapons, Captain. I would advise trying to hail again, but I don't think it would do any good. I think they're kind of bound and determined.
I don't think they can actually hurt us at this point, can they?
Not unless they ram into us and hit self-destruct.
All right. Well,
I will give you an insight roll for saying what you just said. Insight command.
Oh, did I
No,
just
that's
give
all-
the DM ideas?
No. No, actually.
Okay, good.
And okay, now
Insight command. Okay, 9 and 2.
Cap, would y'all like me to use? Is it possible for me to add a threat to do the bolt to add the bold security,
You can
So
add a
reroll?
threat, yeah.
Captain?
oh yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Can I
So-
spend a momentum to re-roll those? Because those I don't believe those gave me anything.
You can, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to add a threat to assist the LT with that.
So
With
hang
my
on
bolt
just
security?
a moment.
Sorry.
Well,
No, the bold security may keep you from having to spend the momentum, which I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so and then I roll a d20.
Yes.
That didn't help.
Well, what is your command and
Oh.
security?
Let's see.
Oh, sorry, it would be insight and security. So yeah, that's a 14.
9,
You
10,
succeeded.
11, 12, 15.
Yeah, so you succeeded. So there's one success, and all right. You basically realize that that's what the other ship was trying to do.
Wait, no,
Like-
14. 14, I'm sorry. 9, 10, 11,
9
12.
and 5 is 14. You're fine. You still got a
Okay.
success.
Okay.
And I still got a threat, which I'll add in just a second. Lieutenant Inari, you realize that's exactly what the other ship was trying to do before Lieutenant Esper basically deprived it of its engine. It had launched its nuke and had no more, weapons, so it was attempting to ram you.
Which means that it's likely that's going to be what the next ship is going to attempt to do unless we're able to disable its engines as well.
Probably. It seems their only tactic to try to outmaneuver you.
Yikes. They're kamikaze runs. That's quite sad. Captain, I recommend that we disable the engines of the other ship as quickly as possible.
Good plan. Fire when you're ready.
And then, is there anything the captain can do on their turn? On his turn?
The captain already made their turn for this round. It went the captain, then it went you, and now it's on Inari's turn. Inari can actually fire the phasers.
I can. Okay.
However, because you are firing the phasers a second time in the same round, it does increase the difficulty by 1.
How about I use evasive maneuvers just so that they don't catch up with us?
Okay.
Sounds good.
So that's going to be a daring con roll for you. That's a 14, and the ship can assist, and that's going to be with its engines and its con.
It probably succeeds.
That
Do
is
it boldly.
Well, Shall I roll? Shall I spend a momentum now?
I think you should probably spend a momentum to re-roll that.
Mm-hmm. I'll re-roll that 20.
Or I mean, I could always take the threat.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Just gonna re-roll the 1. There we go. Much better.
That's actually going to get that momentum back, so I don't even to take it off. So you easily kick it into high gear and into evasive maneuvers. That will be the end of the round, as there's only one enemy ship left, and that will bring it back around to the top. And who would like to go first?
Esper, are you ready on weapons to disable the enemy ship?
Yes, Captain.
Fire when ready.
Firing.
And Captain, if you want to roll a dice for the ship.
2d20?
Yes. For the captain, it would be 1d20. It would be
6.
Well, it's definitely going to work. Oh, very nice. Unfortunately, your momentum pool is still maxed out. So I'm just gonna dump that directly into the phasers. I'm gonna let you roll 9d6, and I'm gonna mark that as dead. That is dead. That is dead. That is dead. Yeah. So you try like the same maneuver to cut the ring off the back of the ship, and you hit something, and the ship just loses all of its structural integrity, and like the other one, it disintegrates.
Well, 1 out of 3.
1 out of 3 ain't bad, yeah, I suppose.
It's all in the captain's. It's all in the log, Captain. They fired on a Federation ship on a diplomatic medical mission.
Indeed. Very good. All right, full speed towards the planet, and let's see if we can save some lives, not take some.
All right.
Agreed.
So, Inari, since we're out of combat, Inari, you can act, and it's going to be control and con. Can you put the ship into orbit without encountering any other issues?
I can do my best.
Okay.
Control and con.
15. You're looking for 15 or less. And as you have starship maneuvering, your focus would be 5. So anything under a 5.
Again?
You're going to end up encountering another alien species in your engine.
Really? Shall I use one of those momentum again?
Yeah.
Should.
The dice do not like me today.
Nope.
Just one d20.
And another 20. I'll just go ahead.
The
and
dice
take
have spoken.
I'll build the threat pool a little bit because as you approach the planet, your sensors show that it is an M-class planet with 3 moons, also M-class. They are all large-bodied moons, similar to Earth's moons, or Earth's moon, rather. They each are about a quarter of the size of the planet, making this a very odd system indeed. Chidori calls up from the sickbay, and she says, Captain, I've been monitoring some of the situation. I've done a preliminary scan of the surface just to see if this virus is airborne, and I can't detect it, or whatever this illness is. We will have to either go to the surface or bring some of the residents up here.
All right. Prepare a quarantine section and full protection for when we go planet side.
We have we have an advanced sick bay, so all protocols, are in place to quarantine sick bay off. If we can beam anybody directly to sick bay, that would be most helpful. However, kidnapping the locals is not a good idea. You may wish to beam down and negotiate having a few brought up, or I can join an away team.
Prepare to join a away team. I think it's good to see the doctor while we're negotiating.
Okay.
Should we hail Prime Minister Kachan as well?
Yes. We'll let
Inform
him
him
know.
of the situation.
Yes, indeed.
Does anybody actually want to run any scans on the planet itself?
LT,
Sure,
would you
I
mind
will.
opening up? Oh, disregard.
All right, so somebody's running scans.
Absolutely will.
In the meantime, I'm going to put out an announcement to the ship to prepare body substance isolation precautions and isolation gear. So whatever we have for body substance isolation precautions, gloves, suits, I'm going to get that ready.
The Federation
Force
has
fields.
basically something similar to an encounter suit that they use on spacewalks. You'd just be wearing one of those. So it would be reason and science for your scan for you. So that would be a 12 for you. And the ship can assist with its advanced sensor suite. So that's going to be a 10 and a 3, so that would be 13.
Got it. I believe I failed with a 15.
Okay.
We do have momentum.
Yeah, you do have momentum. The advanced sensor suites, I believe, also will allow you to make a reroll. So sensors are amongst most very task performance. No, it actually reduced the thing by 1. So no, you can't re-roll it unless you would like to spend a momentum, but it did reduce the entire task down by 1, so that's pretty good. Anari, your roll.
Oh.
And Captain, did you wish to spend a momentum to re-roll yours?
Yes.
Okay.
Aha, that's better.
Well, that's
Buckets. All right. Well, so that momentum came back to you. It looks like.
Yay.
Yeah.
better safe than sorry, Captain.
Indeed.
So you're still at 5. No change in momentum. So this is what you get: the planet and all 3 moons. They all look to have formed from the same matter, if you will. They all have a rocky crust. They have a thin, and by thin I mean several miles deep, layer of a liquid, and then they have what appears to be a hard mantle that is impenetrable by sensors beyond that. The liquid that separates the crust and the hard mantle appears to be coming from the mantle itself, and would appear to be providing the planet some bit of heat. All of the moons are identical. They have the exact same properties. They have the same crust. They have the same liquid layer, and they have the same hard mantle. Your scans also reveal that on one of the continents on the main planet, there is a massive crater, which could have only been created by an antimatter explosion. This crater is so deep that it goes into the liquid layer and all the way to the mantle surface. The liquid is now filling that void, and has like hardened on top, much like magma would have. However, that liquid is not a hot rock substance.
How long ago how long ago was the crater formed?
By your estimates, as you are not a scientist, few years.
Captain, while the LT is scanning the planet, would you like me to open up a beam to Prime Minister Kachan?
Yes. Proceed.
Patching through.
Kachan appears on screen. He looks haggard. He's like, you did what you had to, I understand.
Yes.
Our news medias are spinning this as an alien invasion. My people are becoming very riled.
See. So there's two ways we can try to diagnose this disease and cure it. We need some volunteers to come aboard the ship so we can figure out what's going on, or we can send our own away team to examine the planet and the people on it.
Captain, might I recommend, if the people are getting riled up and it's being spun as an alien invasion, perhaps we should work with Prime Minister Kachan, who seems to be very eager to help his people, and recommend that we work with him to bring some of their people on board. That way we do not put ourselves in harm's way.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Thank you, Captain.
Yes, aliens coming down to the surface of a planet does sound a bit invasion-esque.
And how, might I ask, will you be bringing some of my people to your vessel?
We'll be beaming them to the ship.
We have technologies. We have technology that would allow such transportation.
Indeed.
I'm confused.
To put it simply, we're going to take one object and make it disappear and reappear in a different location, completely unharmed and completely safe.
My boy, what you are suggesting sounds like magic.
Indeed. We are
So
quite the
you're
musicians.
you're telling me that the Federation are a group of magic-wielding space wizards.
Well, sometimes when science is so advanced, it seems like magic, which is actually
Indeed.
what some magicians do.
If my people survive this and we can have another chance with the Federation, perhaps you'll share some of that technology with us.
Of course, we have many academies that be welcoming all sorts of people to join.
I see. Well, if you wish to magic me aboard your ship, you may. I have a small delegation along with me. Is that acceptable?
Yep. Let your people know that you are going now to meet with the invaders to negotiate their surrender, I guess.
You know politics, of course. I should be ready in about 15 minutes.
Very good.
So, the communications channel obviously cuts. One of your bridge officers, who is not amongst you, turns and says, "Captain, I've been monitoring communications on the planet's surface, and they're making us out to be quite the invaders." And like, she puts it up on the main screen. She's like, if you don't mind, Captain. And so on the main screen, it appears, and it definitely has video of you blowing up 2 of their ships and disabling another. From the point of view of the surviving ship. And it looks very impressive. You didn't realize it looked quite that dangerous, from your end, where you were just firing low yield phasers, but from their end, it definitely looked impressive. And
I thought we disabled 2.
You disabled
did
1 and blew up 2.
Did it blow up that last one? Okay.
Yeah.
Now 3.
Unfortunately, that roll was quite high. And they do not have shields, and they do not have much resistance. These are eggshells. You just punctured right through them.
In my head canon, the lieutenant also has a squishmallow in her quarters.
We have technically 2. We have Stormy and we have Drizzle.
Amazing.
Drizzle is the mini version.
That's fantastic.
And Drizzle hangs out with our other kids over there, Oob and Cube. And then we have BB, Chopper, and Pusheen.
Machine. Yep.
Amazing.
And that's just what you see on screen.
Yeah.
There's
more.
A whole mess of them.
Well, LT, that certainly makes gifting for you a lot easier.
I find everyone needs something nice and cuddly to hug.
Much softer than the Klingon blade you kept in your quarters.
Maybe
yes, much softer.
Maybe we should send some of these to the planet as a peace offering.
How dare you mock us with your fluffy representations of my species?
Amazing. I'm going to intercom
offering,
again.
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
That is true. Intercom again. And
so the title under the video is Alien Invasion has finally occurred. We have encountered a hostile alien species bent on our destruction. Rumors of a plague amongst our people were just the beginning of the invasion. Now they come offering help, yet destroy our ships.
Diplomacy is so hard.
Indeed.
I'm going to intercom again just to be safe and prepare those body substance isolation precaution procedures on the 4 exterior to internal, possibly contagious individuals. Make sure everybody has the appropriate BSI ready to go, gloves and everything.
Absolutely. So you guys are waiting for the signal to beam this prime minister up when actually the news feed cuts and you see him step up onto the stage amongst people who are holding signs that basically say there is no plague. There's people holding up signs that are calling for his resignation. There are people holding signs that say some very, very nasty things. And he says, my people, please understand that these aliens have not come to harm us. They are not responsible for this plague. We must work with them if we wish to cure our population. There's thousands of voices are all roaring and booing at him. And he says, my ministers and I, and he waves his hand to everybody on the stage with him. He says, we are going to go to the alien vessel. We are going to be spirited away to negotiate life-saving measures. And he just kind of holds his hands up and looks up.
Transporters are ready, Captain.
In the meantime, I would have asked permission to hit the head because out of character, I also really have to be.
I tell you what, everybody take 5 minutes for the audience. Apologize. We're going to take a 5-minute break just to make sure that everybody's bodily functions are taken care of.
This will be a good time for you to go to the website and make a donation.
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
Please.
It's all for a good cause.
Yes. These are good. These are good, worthy charities. We're trying to raise money for them, and we appreciate everyone coming in, watching us. Have a good time.
All right. Let the halftime break begin.
BRB.
How's everybody feeling so far about the game?
Love it. This is wonderful.
Yes, I have watched all the Star Trek TVs. However, I didn't retain very much information, so wish I could have binged watched that.
It's all on Paramount Plus, right?
I believe so. Yes. I know Netflix lost the licensing to the Next Generation and a couple of their series.
Paramount Plus, I know, has Picard and the new series.
I don't know what it is.
Welcome back. Before we restart, I just would like to give a shout out to a friend in the audience. Some of the ideas for today's game came from him. He knows who he is. It was the first Star Trek game that I ever played in, and I really enjoyed it. And so a lot of the elements I used for this particular one shot, and I'd like to thank him. Thank you so much.
He's a good friend.
He's a good friend.
Yes.
And he can acknowledge it if he likes, or claim it out, call it out in the chat if he'd like. So, without further ado, you stand poised with a prime minister who appears to be waiting to be transported in front of all of his people.
All right.
They're of course booing, roaring, and shouting, calling him a lunatic.
All right.
Transporters are ready, Captain, at any time.
Gonna bring up 2 security officers to stand by the teleporter, just in case.
Esper, make sure you check for any sort of explosives or weaponry.
Okay, yep, set for stun, just in case. We'll do a, can we do a scan from the surface on their persons on the pedestal?
So the way the transporters work actually is if they detect any type of weaponry, they'll disable it. They'll also take a biofilter reading and attempt to screen out any foreign, biology that comes up. So basically, bacteria, infections, viruses, and whatnot. Every time you go through the transporter, it's like having your entire body screened for, just about any type of disease.
Excellent.
However, unknown stuff the transporter can't get rid of, and there are diseases that avoid transporter scans. So, are you beaming them to the transporter room, or are you beaming them directly to sickbay?
Should be sick bay.
Be sick bay, yeah.
Yep.
Right. I will let you know that difficulty is 4. As you are going site to site, there are no transporter pads involved.
We should probably go do the transport pad. We don't want this to go wrong.
You can spend some momentum to make sure that we get
Right. It better to keep
successes.
better
All right.
to, just in case there's an unexplored pathogen, Captain. That's my recommendation.
Correct. So I think I'll make sure I advise this situation, make sure it goes well as well.
Sorry about that. I was attacked by an alien species.
Uh-oh, that's
Wait, what?
not good.
What?
Something was crawling on me, and I'm like, what the hell? I couldn't find it, and then when I did find it, it didn't look normal. So hopefully I'm not going to die in a minute from being bitten by it.
So sick bay?
Yes,
That'd make our
sick bay
stream
sounds
very,
good.
very difficult.
I'm going to use my advisor talent
Okay.
to assist with the sick bay transportation.
Okay, so you're going to be working the other console then. All right.
Okay.
This will be Control Con for both of you. And are you using momentum to add any dice?
Yes.
Okay. So 1 momentum will buy you 1 dice. 2 additional momentum will buy you a second dice. How many dice are you wanting to purchase?
1, 2.
Remember, you need 4 successes.
I'll buy one, so that'll give me a total of 2d20, right?
The assist cannot buy. It's only
Oh.
the main
It would
roll.
be it'd be me buying. I
Oh.
think one. I think one would be okay.
Just one. Okay.
1 or 2.
Might as well just buy two. I mean, our thing is maxed out almost.
That'll take
That'll
3
take you down
momentum.
to 2. Yeah,
That'll
that'll take
take
you to 2 left.
All right, then. It is up to you.
Yep.
You know what? Let's go for it. Let's buy a second one.
Okay.
We've been doing pretty good getting our momentum back, I think.
Alright.
So roll
I
4.
got a 16.
You'd be rolling 4. Yeah.
Rolling 4d20. Okay. 4d20. I was rolling for what again?
Control con.
Control con, so that was 15.
So you have 2 successes so far.
And I got a
Ouch.
16, so that is.
That is a fail.
Ouchies,
So
ouchies,
you have 3
ouch.
fails. You have 3 fails, 2 successes. So you need 4 successes to make this transport happen. You can spend another momentum to re-roll your 2 failures if you like.
I will do that, I think.
Okay. With 1 momentum.
That's
nice.
much better.
Much better.
Here we go.
Close.
That's actually going to get you, it looks like, 1 of your momentum back. So it's going to put you back at 2. Okay. So you managed to beam them directly off the stage. What you see on the view screen is like the crowd suddenly just goes silent. Some of them actually panic a little and start, kind of screaming, roaring, and like, trying to get themselves out of the crowd. From their perspective, their people just vaporized. So they're not sure what to make of it. Go ahead.
It appears the people down there are panicking. Anari, is there some sort of video we can probably send them?
We can.
Federation 101.
You think we can attempt a video log? To hail the planet.
Yeah.
So you could always attempt to like hack into their video feeds. There was definitely monitors showing the prime minister. You could try hacking into those. That would be an engineering roll.
Yeah. Can we do that just so they can know that their people are safely aboard the alien vessel?
Safely aboard the alien ship. Let's see. Aaron, you have a 3 in engineering.
I know.
Anari, you also have a 3 in engineering. The captain has a 2 in engineering. So who wants to attempt this? Anyone?
I guess I'll try this.
What
With
do you
the
have in
one with the
engineering,
2?
Captain?
He has a 2.
Why don't you? I'll give this one a shot. The lieutenant seems busy.
You
All
sure
right.
you got this? All right.
As you're
But
attempting
an
to hack-
engineering and what? It's the other one that I'm wanting to
Yeah.
know.
control.
Okay,
it'll be
I could probably do that.
What's your control?
My control is 10,
So is mine.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
I
so
think the 2 of you are equally, matched in engineering skills.
This is your department, LT. If you'd like to make the attempt, I'll defer to you.
absolutely.
Yeah, I guess it kind of is her department. She is ops. She is operations. So
Lieutenant, work some magic.
Okay. I like that.
if you like, the ship can assist with its computers and its con.
Don't add too much bloom effect on the video, by the way, Anari.
Nice.
Do we get a momentum back because of that? 835.
Yes, you do. I was just comparing the results with what I've got written down.
I'm considering joining the living campaign. This is wonderful.
I've not been a part of the living campaign myself. if anybody from Modiphious is watching and thinks that I deserve to be part of the Living campaign, let me know. I'll throw my hat in.
You have my recommendation.
Oh, is the Living campaign an actual streamed campaign, or is it just?
So
I thought it might have been a series of games.
So what I understand is people play their games and it's either uploaded or not, and then they send the results to Modiphious, and I believe that they write a report of actually what the consequences of their actions are actually in the expanse. My games tend to be a lot of theater of the mind, with my limited knowledge of Star Trek, which is immense, and with a lot of stuff that I like to throw in myself. Like I said, I've got my own couple races that I've created that are actually fleshed out. I have some space monsters fleshed out that are pretty cool. If you ever play with me long term, you will run into the flying space moths. They're pretty cool. There's the Gugarians, which they encountered last week.
My race.
Which is, I made that race specifically for her so that she could play an anime slime
girl.
Yeah.
I love the Gugarians.
Yeah. Well, so I had them have a first contact encounter with the Gugarians last week, which was pretty fun.
Very fun.
The story about why our chief engineer did not make it tonight is because he had an up close and personal encounter with the Gugarian. So, anyways, what were we doing? I'm sorry, I lost track.
We've gone on a bit of tangent there.
We
get a momentum back, and we're beaming them to sickbay.
Yes.
Right.
And we're showing on the video feeds, I think.
Right.
Video feed. Yes. Sorry.
Yes, you hacked the video feed. So the video feed literally shows them appearing in sickbay next to Chidori. Now, here's the thing. You have a girl who's right at the 5-foot line next to these the Warl, and the Warl are, of course, beast creatures that are very large. So it almost looks like she's prey. Because she's very tiny and they're very tall. However, the Prime Minister is like, astounding. I did not believe you when you said you had the ability to bring us directly to your ship. And he's looking down at Chidori, and Chidori's looking up at him, and it's like, oh, hi. Yeah, if you'll please have a seat over here on the beds. And she's grabbing equipment, and she begins running her scans.
I have 2 security officers down there in BSI suits.
Oh, absolutely. She's taking as much precaution as she feels safe with as well. She's not wearing any kind of encounter suit, but sickbay is cordoned off. You get the report on the transport. There's no weapons to be said, except some daggers, but they appear to be ceremonial. They're highly decorated with names and symbols on them, likely house names. The computer's translating them as names.
I always wanted to have a dagger with my name on it.
It's never too late, Captain.
It's always very bold,
A bold dagger for Captain Bold.
He really lives up to his name, Captain Bold.
Captain Bold.
Indeed.
So, you could see that the people on the surface stop panicking. Most of them are it's special effects. You hear a lot of, oh, that's special effects. He was never really there, and what is with that weird alien with the blue hair, and looks like one of the such and such people of the the hairless species, and then
the flat earthers.
Yeah. Then the scene shifts, and you're cut off. And you see Leon Musk, the Heavy Industries CEO, Pride Heavy Industries, and he says, as you can see, our leader consorts with these aliens who killed your brethren, our brethren. and he again starts showing the scenes of your ship like blasting through.
Survived?
Wait,
He
what?
was probably not on
He's-
that ship.
He survived?
He wasn't
I
on the
thought
ship.
it was. Oh, okay. I'm
He
sorry.
broadcast to the
I'm
ship.
sorry.
Yeah, I explained he did not look like he was on a ship. He looked like he was on surface.
Okay.
He had a desk in front of him and everything. He's got the exact same desk in front of him. It's definitely a window behind him showing, trees and stuff in the background.
Okay, please carry on. I apologize.
Threw me off there for a minute. I'm like, wait, what? Of course he survived. And in any case, he goes on a propaganda spiel, and eventually you guys turn that off. I mean, I would. The communications officer, she's like, I will continue to monitor, Captain, to see if any changes occur. But for the most part, it looks like they're just bad mouthing Starfleet.
I see. Is there any is there any sort of positive Starfleet videos we can play? Just break it up every so often.
Starfleet propaganda.
So we have
Yeah.
the Wesley Crusher recruitment video.
Yes.
Oh
And,
yeah,
like-
play that.
Play that.
Like you put it on, and it starts broadcasting, and it's young Wesley wearing the cadet uniform, and he's like, "Hello, my name is Wesley Crusher, and I would like to welcome you to the greatest adventure of your lives, Starfleet."
Oh.
And it goes on a little bit like that for 5-10 minutes, and then it loops back. And like there's one point where he's walking through the academy yards, and like some other cadet runs up behind him and gives him bunny ears. It's totally and there's like an Andorian there that's like, hey, that's derogatory, because Andorians have antennas. In any case, it's a great Federation propaganda video about joining Starfleet. We most definitely don't shoot to kill.
Technically true.
about
Technically
that.
true.
Technically true.
Technically true.
So it's another 20 minutes before you hear Chidori's voice over the comm again, and she says, "Captain, I have some preliminary results. We should definitely discuss this."
All right. Everyone to the meeting room, or should we just meet you in sick bay?
We can definitely meet in the briefing room. I've found that this is probably not going to affect us. In fact, the effect seems to be lessening as they have left the planet.
Ah, so something wrong with the planet. All right, let's meet in the briefing room.
Okay.
As per okay.
The crater.
So the scene is changing, and when there's a scene change, a momentum is lost. So we are going to go ahead and drop that momentum.
My general rule for sci-fi games is that if I think something like, oh, it must be the crater, I'm assuming that my technologically advanced character would probably have a similar thought.
Oh yeah.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Or even if they can't quantify it, it might be a
So
It
you have
depends on what information your
Yes.
character has, as opposed to what information you have. Kind of a thing.
Well, our characters do know that there was an alien crater, or not an alien crater, but that there was a crater that seemed to be different, or seemed to be strange from an extra solar impact or an extraterrestrial impact.
It looked like a antimatter explosion occurred there. So let me give you a little bit of history of how most cultures come about warp technology. They begin experimenting with antimatter first. And as they begin experimenting with the antimatter, oftentimes there are accidents. If you mix matter and antimatter, you get an explosion. And that explosion gives off more energy than the entire atomic arsenal of the United States, basically, in a nutshell. And so that amount of energy released all at once, if it's not contained properly, gives you crater, miles deep and miles wide. And you would assume, given that, they were probably doing this at a research lab, that it was probably near a town, and that town is probably no longer in existence. And it's very likely that thousands died in that explosion.
Radiation, perhaps?
Well, the radiation from antimatter will dissipate very quickly. So
Never mind.
Yeah, it's not likely that they're being irradiated. According to your helm officer, who did some scans, it happened several years ago, which is about the time that they encountered the Federation for the first time, and the Federation was like, "Oh, you're a warp-capable species. It's nice to meet you. Let's open diplomatic channels." And they went, "No."
So not a crater not an impact crater, but from
It's
warp crater. Okay, all right. Disregard that then.
Yeah, you can pretty much say that this crater was caused by their experiments in warp drive technology.
That stuff is probably very important. We're probably on the right train of thought.
Yeah.
It is likely something to do with the crater, whether it's maybe the stuff that it actually like released or uncovered, the mantle or the magma or the whatever.
Yes, if you believe that is magma, yes. However, it's pretty obvious that it's not.
Well, let's go talk to the medical officer.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and I had one little assignment for Esper. We need a more
Captain.
non-lethal weapon.
Or they need better shields.
They need better shields, yeah.
Yeah.
I will submit a requisition for
Nerf.
Starfleet Command.
Yeah.
You can roll insight security for me.
Can we
Captain
get
or
Nerf?
me?
You, Aaron. Sorry.
Okay. Inside security. Okay. That's going to be a 14. Let's see.
And you can roll 2d20.
Are Nerf torpedoes a thing?
Boing.
Nope.
Let's see.
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, I think so. Security's 14. Yeah.
At least not off the top of my head. So I'm like,
you can definitely
I got
put
nothing.
in a requisition for that with Starfleet. So you all go to the briefing room, and it's another 5 minutes before Chidori shows up. She steps in, and she's like, "Okay, so this is what I found." And she like walks straight up to the interactive screen behind the captain, and she uploads her data. The data appears on the screen and begins to show biology and chemistry, all the things that none of you are really good at. And she begins to explain. So it appears to be, at first glance, a type of autoimmune disease, which of course is not contagious. But the problem is, it's not an autoimmune disease, it's just an immune disease. They are being attacked from an external source by an immune system.
So, is it the planet causing the issue, or are they no longer compatible with the planet?
I could not tell you that, Captain. I don't have enough information. Since I haven't gone to the planet to investigate, and I haven't really done too many scans of the surface.
So I guess we will have to go to the planet somehow. How's our PR?
How's our PR
counterattack going?
campaign going?
Propaganda, yes.
How is the PR campaign going?
So you check in on the planet, and every once in a while you can see the whole Wesley Crusher video, and people seem to get very angry whenever that comes on. And then
Pull it.
then the the feed cuts and you get propaganda from heavy industries, Pride Heavy Industries, which is all saying that this is all just political BS, and that this is a stunt to get reelected, and again, there is no plague, there is no sickness, and then every once in a while something else cuts in, and it's very fuzzy, very staticky, and you see the words under the screen, and of course your universal translator automatically translates it to Federation standard for you, but it says the Liberators Group, and it definitely has some symbol that seems to translate in their language to biological hazard, and it's basically it's a warning. It's like, don't take this stuff don't take what they're saying seriously. Protect yourselves. This is real. And then every once in a while you can see images of some of these people in hospitals that are way overcrowded, and basically doctors and nurses that are basically also infected and dying.
So, from what our chief medical officer is telling us, it's the planet. Or, I'm sorry, it is an external source?
It's an external source.
External source. Okay, meaning extraterrestrial or just out of their bodies? Out of their bodies.
They are basically living in something's immune system. Something's immune system is attacking them, thinking that they are a parasite or a disease. They're being treated like a disease by something.
So they got better when they got off the planet, or are getting better, correct?
That is correct.
Can we take some time to do more scans of them? How long will it take for you to do more scans of the planet to get more information, Doctor?
I think we might need to be on planet in order to get any sort of concrete scans.
Is that true, Doctor?
Well, I mean, the ship's sensors are pretty advanced. I can do some orbital scans, but there's nothing quite like going down to the surface and actually, trying to find some answers.
Well, we can always beam you down in a deserted area and then beam you back up.
Wait, you're gonna send me alone?
No, we'll be going with you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Should have an away team to go along. May I suggest that we switch the feed off of Wesley
Agreed.
Crusher,
Right.
and maybe back to their people in our sick bay.
As
Agreed.
long as they're getting better that way. Positive message.
Yes.
Sounds
Well,
good.
so, and Chidori will tell you this. Well, they weren't showing any symptoms yet. And it could be, I don't know, environmental of some kind. Could be where we took the sample from.
Okay, so you're suggesting we take samples from multiple areas then?
Of course.
All right. How far apart do you think?
Well,
should we
if you
just...
want to be, scientific about it, a couple miles or
All
a couple thousand meters.
Do you think we should start at the crater, Captain? And, of course, our medical officer. What do the two of you think, collectively?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It seems like everybody's collectively coming to the idea that it's this crater.
I think we should... Well, we can't do this throughout the whole planet, so we want to speed up this process. So we'll try to do a scan of the crater area, a populated area, and then a less populated area. So that way we got a good range.
Should we start with planetary scans, perhaps, just to give you an idea of where to start first?
Yeah, make it so. And
Here's
then we
a
can
question.
go ahead.
Can we tell how long this has been going on through their population?
No, because unfortunately, when it started, they tried to hide it. So it's almost impossible to know when it started, how long whatever this was, was affecting them.
All right. So let's get started on those orbital scans, and then let's pick out some nice little landscapes to go check out.
Okay. Open the scans.
So the doctor actually can tap into the ship sensors from here, and she's going to run some scans for you as she has the higher science.
Perfect.
I think one of the reasons we were all coming to the idea that it was the crater might have been, the idea that when the accident happened might have been when they all started getting sick.
Yes.
That's an interesting theory.
Well, you described some sort of upheaval with the crust and some sort of a not an unnatural, but something that was, spurred forward by the population that would make it technically unnatural. So if that's the largest unnatural X factor, it might be a good place to at least start with a scan from the doctor.
Okay. So she's running some scans. I need somebody to roll for the ship. It'll be sensors and science. So that's a 13.
Oh, /R. It's not /R.
Slasher.
Yeah, we go.
Nice.
5.
Nice. Very nice. So I am going to go ahead and award you guys a momentum for that, even though that was technically the ship and an NPC rolling. So
Thank
the
you.
scans of the surface. I'm a very giving GM. So the surface of the planet, you basically have what looks like a ball with a giant crater in it. The surface is very smooth. There's not a lot of mountains or hills. There are some, obviously, but just like the moons, they seem to be unmarred by tectonic activity. What you do see is the population seems to be centered in major cities, and the closer you get to that crater, the less the population is until you're within 100 kilometers of it, and there's just nobody. It's like a dead zone. And of course, the crater itself is several kilometers wide.
Let's see. If our conclusion is correct, and that crater is the cause of this weird disease, we should probably beam at the outermost perimeter of it, just to be safe. It could affect us when we get down there.
Agreed.
Okay. So it's a collective decision to go to the planet.
Yes.
All right. Even though your first officer's not here, he's going to recommend that the captain does not go for his own safety. Probably everybody here is going to agree with that.
They never get to have any fun.
Yes, you're going to hold down the bridge. But that is going to bring us to you are going to play an NPC.
How many security officers would you like to leave with you on the ship, Captain?
Let's see here. I think about 5, that way I can play a board game.
How many do we have total? I think we have 6 total, right?
I like that.
Security people, yes. You have more than 6, but you can only muster a certain number at a time based on the ship's scale. All right, so I have... Nope, that's not going to work.
We're going to need to take as many as possible.
All right,
Given the
very
fact
well,
that-
then I'll just play Magic. So I'll just need 1.
The ancient
The
card
ancient Earth
game.
game, yeah, from like 400 years ago. Nice. Yeah.
Yes, I'm quite the artist.
I prefer Vulcan
What-
chess
300.
myself, but
What colors do you play? I'm partial to white, black, and black, red.
Well,
Red and blue.
there's more colors.
The is it?
Yes.
Vulcan
Sorry
chess
about
is
this,
actually
that-
multi-layered.
No, that's called 4-dimensional or 3-dimensional chess. That's chess. That is a Federation game.
Is it really?
Vulcan chess is called Calto, and it is a big mesh of like things just pointing in different directions. And your job is to pull one out without collapsing it, and then place it someplace else. And every time you do that,
Bless you.
Excuse me.
bless you. Every time you do that, the shape changes and the pieces move into a different place. Since it's a holographic game, So
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm very old school. I prefer cards.
So did Picard and Riker.
they did, yes. But Picard didn't indulge as much. Not in the original TNG. He does seem to be more penchant for it in actually Picard.
It was the last episode of Next Generation. They finally invited him to play poker, wasn't it?
No, he finally came. Because
Ah,
he had been invited all that time, but
never
there's a
never
thing in
showed up.
Starfleet. There's a thing in Starfleet where the captains of a ship don't fraternize with the rest of the crew. They're supposed to be above that. They can be a very lonely job, and Picard felt comfortable enough at the end of Next Generation to finally go, screw regulations, I'm going to do this. Let me just quickly upload this to my Google Drive.
I guess I'm very laid back.
You are laid back, Captain.
I mean, you are wearing blue jeans, Captain.
What? It's a casual
It's
Sunday.
casual, yeah, casual.
Casual Sunday, yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Oh, I need to find it and share it. Where art thou, sheet? There it is.
Somebody in chat has called it Havoc the Bothering.
As long as everybody is having fun.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So, in the Star Trek charity chat, I am sending you a sheet for an NPC named David Stevens.
Okay, I requested access.
He didn't just give it to you?
You have to do it. It's very silly how they do it. Instead of just doing the first link, you actually have to modify it.
Crazy. All right. You should now have editing rights to it. You'll notice that it is a much vaguer sheet than your own. They don't have much in the line of focuses or values. They only have, well, they're supposed to have 2 values, but I'll let you come up with those as you play it. But David Stevens is a security officer. He works under Lieutenant Selena, and you will be playing Ensign David Stevens.
Red shirt.
He is a red shirt, just like you.
Yes.
Actually, no. Security's gold now. My mistake. So yeah, he's wearing a gold uniform.
Perfect.
I'm not changing, so.
You don't have to. No, we want you to change right now. Everybody, put your uniforms on. We're going down to see the cat people.
Hey, at least being a red shirt is better now than it was in the old days.
True. Mm-hmm.
All right. So you guys are going to beam down to the planet.
How many can I take with me? How many security officers?
Well, we're going to take one this time.
Okay.
You're going to take David Stevens.
All right.
And it's going to be Lieutenant Inari, yourself, David Stevens, and Chidori.
All right. You will see the CSO just kind of with her phaser rifle, just kind of double checking the weaponry to make sure that it's functionable.
You'll notice David Stevens only has a phaser pistol, or a regular hand phaser.
Can we get him a rifle from the armory?
You could.
Okay. I'll grab a rifle, hand it to him. You know how to use one of these?
Yes, I do.
Well,
Basic training.
Yeah, you two know each other a little better than that, so you know
Yeah.
his service record. Yes, he's trained. And if he's in security, he's trained on the rifles.
Okay. In that case, I catch the
making sure.
thing, I twirl it around, and I yes, I do.
Yes, there is such a thing as
Awesome.
a phaser rifle.
As you all beam down to the surface, it is a change of scene, so you are going to lose
Ah,
a momentum. And I will go ahead and forego the transporter roll, just so I don't splatter you guys someplace along the surface. Plus, we're getting down to about the last hour or so. You beam down to a fairly desolate area on the outskirts of the zone of death around this crater, which is several kilometers away from the crater. So you can just barely see it off in the distance. In fact, it's the highest amount of land you can see. Everything else seems to be very flat, very smooth, well worked. There is vegetation, and the vegetation seems to be unaffected. It seems to be fine, but there is no animal life anywhere.
What about insects?
None that you are familiar with. So yeah, you don't see insects either.
Insects have a way of surviving catastrophes.
Indeed.
Usually.
The mighty roach.
Well, you don't know
Exactly.
what type of insects are even on this planet, whether it has insects
There's
at
always
all.
there's always the roach.
Every planet has their own version of the cockroach.
in Ravnica, it's Pegasus. It's Pegasi.
Really?
Pegasi are considered winged rats in Ravnica.
Wow.
That's interesting. That is very funny to read, by the way. The roach and the murder hornet.
Yes.
Nice.
I wish I were logged in so I could actually, respond.
Guess I'll secure the perimeter while the Dr. Inari, or sorry,
Chidori.
Chidori does her scans.
She pulls out her tricorder and starts, running basic scans. You see that it's a medical tricorder. She scans some of the vegetation. She's scanning, the soil. It takes a little while. In fact, I'm gonna roll some dice real quick.
I'm going to curiously scan the horizon and say, looks like there's no one out here but us. Should be an easy job.
Yeah, it is definitely seems to be nobody out there but you. As she's running these scans, she says, "This is very interesting." She looks to Lieutenant Esper and she says, "So it would appear that the soil is not contaminated at all. The plant life is not contaminated. What I detected before does not seem to be anywhere in this area."
Where do you think you detected it? Any other recommendations as to where to check next?
Well, it seems like everything in this area is dead except the plants. There's no bacteria in the soil. There's no nutrients in the soil. This whole area just seems very odd to me. Like, what are the plants feeding off of? What are the what nutrient source does it have? There's nothing in the soil to feed it.
Sort of liquids or
There's no water around this area.
maybe it feeds off of energy or similar substance.
That's an interesting thought. She does some scans.
I was going to say, suggest taking a sample of the plants.
Yeah. So she's like, so it looks like the roots of these plants go down almost to the source of the liquid. So several kilometers. It seems to be getting its energy from there. I'd really like to get a sample of this if we could, and I think the only place we could do that would be the crater since it's so deep.
It's drawing energy from the crater.
No, they're just drawing energy from the liquid below the surface.
Yeah, deep below the surface.
Yes.
And how would we get closer to that?
Well,
It-
the crater is several kilometers deep.
So it's like a hole already dug for us. So
Yes. But it's quite a journey from here.
Should we beam back and beam back down?
We could. I'm up for a hike.
never skip leg day, and this is why.
All right. It's about an hour or two before you reach the rim of the crater, and then I'm guessing you guys are going to descend into it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can we check
so,
for radiation or any dangers with a quick scan?
You can go ahead and give me a scan. Got too many windows open. It is going to be for you. It will be reason science.
Hey, does that technically count as a threat
What do you mean?
for constantly watching? I might be reaching here, but
In this moment, I think you are reaching a little bit.
that's
But
fair.
if you are constantly watching, I'll give you a second roll after this one.
Okay. So you said science
Reason
and
science.
reason?
Yes.
2d20?
2d20.
Okay.
And you're looking for a 9 or
Nope.
lower. No. Just 1 9, not 4.
And you said roll again?
The second roll is going to be no, this one's going to be control security. And constantly watching will apply for that. So that will lower the
Okay.
threshold.
Way below. It's 15.
Okay. No, you get 2d20 for that second roll.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and roll one more. 15.
Just hit it.
Two successes. Two
It's
successes.
10 and 5.
You're scanning for like radiation and stuff like that. You don't see anything, but your sensors pick up movement in the crater.
Okay. I will immediately kind of put my hands out and tell everyone to get down, take out the rifle, and look through the scope.
Okay. You're able to look through the scope, but what you see on the other end is something you've never seen before. This looks like a creature that is the same color as the surrounding rock. And the rock in this area, inside the crater, looks like something that is completely different from all of the rock around it. It is a purple marbled rock that's very jagged. Looks like it was kind of it looks like it was an eruption, volcanic eruption that created this. But the
Melt
rock
glass.
itself, yeah, but the rock itself is like a purple in color. And from some of the cracks, you can see steam and heat rising up, and around those cracks, you are seeing what look like some type of creatures. They are definitely gelatinous in nature. They have this liquid just seems to be kind of dripping off of them, but they don't have a defined shape. They're not humanoid. They're not species 8472 with the 5 legs and 2 arms. Three legs and 2 arms. They seem to have however many legs they need at that moment. The one you're looking at seems to grow a couple legs and moves, and then loses a few legs as it finishes its move.
Okay, I'm gonna radio the captain. and I'm also going to point them out and have the doctor look through the scope. And I'll say to the doctor, "What do you make of that?" I'm going to radio the captain, and Captain, could you ask the Prime Minister about the creatures, the gelatinous creatures in the crater?
I'd say
Cap-
that's proof of animals around the area.
Captain Bold here. I'll get right on that as soon as I. Oh wait, no, I won this game. You folded. All right, I'm on it.
Yeah, but
Doctor, what do you
Admiral
make of that?
plays video games and doesn't listen to anybody, and we have a captain that plays card games and gets distracted. So the doctor looks through the scope and she's like, "Ooh, I don't know what to make of that. Unless..." She rolls over onto her back and looks up at the sky. She looks to be lost in thought. And she says,
Take your time, Doctor.
"I have a hypothesis."
That take the rifle back.
Oh yeah, no, she doesn't. She only looks through it. She doesn't actually take it from you. But now she's like laying on her back, hands on her stomach, kind of looking up at the sky, as if she's lost. By the way, I just want you to know, Shidori also wears a pair of headsets, just like her grandmother, Admiral Shidori.
Excellent.
And it makes it seem like, she's zoning out to music or something, especially now that she's looking up at the clouds.
Right.
And then she's like, "I think I have a hypothesis."
And?
It's kind of outlandish, but what if that's a killer T cell?
A what? Oh.
Inside the bodies of most aliens, we have a part of our immune system known as a T cell. It attacks infectious agents. They're basically designed to hunt down and kill specific viruses and bacteria in our bodies.
White blood cells.
So what you're saying, there's not monsters from the center of the Earth? Or planet? Not
Well,
monsters.
So look at that. Look at the way the rock is formed. It almost looks like a scab. Is it possible that they hurt the planet enough for the planet to retaliate?
So how would you provide medical aid on a crater? Asphalt?
No. In this case, I think it just needs to heal itself.
What do we do about the people?
Well,
If the planet sees the people as a virus, then the people can't stay here.
They're not going to like that.
No, they're not. They're really not.
Especially not Leon.
Eon. Wait,
Leon.
No, Leon. It's Leon. Must. There's no way to speed up the healing process?
even if we did, the cells are out now. They're already getting ready to hunt. And plus, the immune system of this creature, planet, whatever it is, seems to be already attacking them in a passive form.
How do you think that the passive form is working? The plants, maybe?
No, it's very likely airborne in some manner or another. Now that we're on the planet, we're definitely exposed to it, but our biosuits are gonna, keep us protected. But
Doctor,
everyone, yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I thought you were done.
Oh no. Basically, the people don't have this level of protection, and they're seemingly unwilling to follow even the most basic routine cleansing methods. So it's very likely spreading person to person through the air.
I was going to say, Doctor, did we when we first got to the planet, didn't you say that you weren't detecting anything?
Yes, and now that I've had samples, I am.
Ah, okay. I wasn't sure if that had changed.
Sorry if I didn't make that clear. Yes. Now that I had samples and knew what I was looking for, and now that we're on the planet, the tricorder is definitely picking up the antibodies in the air.
I keep thinking about Elon Musk and his capitalistic ventures. I
Well,
believe that Earth had a problem with drilling into its planet to extract fossil fuels for energy.
that's terrible. I had no idea.
I
Completely
know,
archaic, barbaric, even.
quite so.
She looks over at Lieutenant Esper and she's like, "Didn't the Cardassians do similar to your planet?"
Yes.
Yes, they were mining for what's that ore? No, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there was ore processing. That's what D Space Nine was originally used for.
And you know what we did to them?
Yes, I read the history.
Good. Maybe we can get these people to do the same, but in reverse. So they can either fight or band together to... I don't know, I don't want to make it worse. Perhaps that wouldn't apply in the situation.
Would it be
Well-
possible to trick them into trick the planet into thinking they're not something to be expelled?
That's tricky. It's a bit like having a transplant and having to take immunosuppressors. That would be a huge immunosuppressor.
Sounds like Federation bullshit to me.
It does sound like Federation bullshit. Hmm. The thing is, because you don't have an actual doctor using an NPC, I'm not sure she can use Federation bullshit. No,
Excuse me. Sorry.
no hiccups. I'm gonna have to rule that she cannot. But if you had some kind of an idea,
I have a medicine of 3.
message 3.
Well, David's idea is that if the thing's airborne and it's operating like a immune system, then can't we just take like an immune suppressor or something akin to like a allergy medication and just
Like
give
an
it to the planet?
antihistamine.
Yeah, give it to the planet.
Don't take this wrong, but stick with your day job. You realize that this planet is, massive, right?
Well, seems like a more possible feat than trying to get a bunch of people off of it.
That might be what we have to end up doing. We can call the Federation for assistance. We can let them know that there are 2 more of these warships present and that they are hostile.
What does the Prime Directive have to say about a maneuver like this?
They're warp-capable species. If they ask for help, the Federation can help. The Federation can't just give them technology. Moving them off planet as long as they're willing to go.
We have to
You could
put together.
transplant them.
Sounds like we have to put together a very convincing PowerPoint presentation.
And,
Mass evacuation.
yeah, you're going to have to deal too with the propaganda and the fear mongering. Oh, now I told you that they were coming to take us away.
What about this this rebel faction might be able to help us
Liberators
as far
group.
as
The Liberators. You would have to find them.
we could put
Meanwhile,
out
back
a.
on the ship. Don't mean to cut anybody off here,
No,
but
that's fine.
Captain Bold was going to go and talk with the Prime Minister, I believe,
Yes.
after he won his 5th game of Magic.
Hmm.
Could we have the doctor send to the holodeck anything, all the information and sort of some notes that she's.
The holodeck?
That's the information display, right?
No, the
Say that there.
holodeck is where you go to, sip margaritas by the beach.
Okay.
The holodeck
that's
is
the
a large,
hologram.
Yeah, it's the hologram room.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got the holodeck confused with like the onboard display, I think.
Yeah.
It's just a computer, I think, is what they always call
The
it.
computer, okay. Can
some
we
of the-
send it to
some
the
of the newer-
captain's computer?
Yes.
And then can we also send a vacation simulator to the captain's holodeck as well? Maybe like a fantasy Magic the Gathering.
So the ship has one holodeck, and everybody has to kind of share it. So,
Fair,
but it's
okay.
really cool. You can open the holodeck, and it can be like an MMO. You just program a game
Oh,
scenario,
that's really
in,
cool.
and then everybody can just pile in.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And using force field technology and hand wavy bullshit, it keeps everybody from touching each other.
The best holodeck I have ever seen was, now that I'm thinking of the right thing, was in the Orville, but they had the high fantasy simulator with the the barbarians.
I haven't seen that episode, but that definitely sounds fun. But it's probably the same technology.
Yes.
I have a theory that Orville is just, the Federation a couple hundred years later. So,
Captain.
in any case,
John.
yeah. So you arrive in the sick bay, and there's definitely force fields up to keep him isolated from everybody else. There's force fields around all of his advisors, but they're all talking to each other and whatnot. So you walk in, and there's like a little staticky field that goes up to keep you from getting too close. And he says, Captain Bold. Just then you get the data transfer from the surface.
I assume I'm holding a data slate or something.
Yeah, it's a data pad.
Okay. I hold up the data pad.
Looks like an iPad.
Excellent. Well, it appears like we made huge progress. We had some good news and some bad news. Which one do you want to hear first?
I'm a politician. Bad news.
Getting your people off the planet is the fastest way to fix this problem.
Wow. And he sits down. It's like, when you said
That's-
bad.
that's quite a shock.
Oh, should I have asked for you to sit down first? Good news.
He's like, I'm not sure if my heart can take it. There's like one of the other doctors that's there. One of the nurses is like, oh, your heart rate has elevated, but it seems strong.
Well, the good news is it's only the planet that's really making you sick. So as long as you, I think, avoid its antibodies, according to this report and the hypothesis, you should be okay.
The planet is trying to kill us.
Appears to have something to do with this crater that was created.
Everybody is silent. All the advisors and the prime minister, they look defeated almost. And one of the advisors says, Prime Minister, you should tell him. And he says, no. And they're like, Prime Minister, you should tell him now. And the Prime Minister seems to think about it for a moment, and then he looks up and he says, we've known for quite some time that the planet was alive. It would appear that we have done it great harm.
Indeed. But
However, this information has not been made public. The government has kept it a secret because how do we tell these people have lived their entire lives someplace that they are destroying an organism that we depend on for life when they only want to exploit it.
Best way you only know how. That's how we did it. But there's still hope.
You suffered a similar fate.
Yes.
Your
Back in
planet
the-
came to life and tried to kill you.
Well, all planets are alive. It's just that yours is more active than ours. Ours, we drilled into it, caused the vegetation on it to die out, polluted the waters, caused the wildlife to die, which in turn less food source.
That sounds exactly like what we're doing.
Indeed. However, given time to heal, the planet should heal itself and its immune response should die down and completely dissipate. And while it's going through that process, you could be exploring space and other worlds. So think of it as an extended vacation. That helps. Probably doesn't.
He puts his big massive paws on his knees and he just kind of sits there and he's like, that's a lot to chew. It's like, and it seems like it's got a lot of gristle and fat in it. Like, the unfortunate thing is I don't believe many of my people will be satisfied with that answer.
They won't swallow it.
Let's see. How about there are other fish in the sea?
I prefer red meat.
I see.
In any case, like, he pretty much just looks dejected, and at this point, and he just, his advisors and him like get together and they start talking. What do we tell the people? How do we even approach the situation? Those kind of questions start cropping up, and he tries to answer them as best as he can. Meanwhile, back on the planet's surface, what is everybody doing at this moment?
David is looking at the cool rocks on the ground.
All right, David's a rock collector. Nice.
That is one of his values.
Can we? How would we potentially? Could we create some kind of immunosuppressant, non-damaging bomb to blanket this whole crater?
Suddenly, Aaron, you are not there anymore. You are standing on the deck of Deep Space Nine in the temple. Cisco approaches you, says, "You've visited us before.
Is this
It
the orb
seems-
experience?
Seems the time has come." And then you see Major Kira. She steps up and she says, "A new life."
Do I recognize Major Kira?
Yes, you recognize Major Kira. She was in your orb experience.
Major
You
Kira.
you have been brought directly back into another orb experience, and you realize that it looks like Major Kira, but it is not Major Kira. This is one of the prophets.
I just kind of bow my head in reverence.
And she says, "A new life, an old life. It has all come full circle. You must make a choice." And Cisco says, "The decision must be made." And then suddenly you're back on the planet. Nobody, by the way, saw her disappear. As far as you're concerned, she's zoned out for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor,
Yes.
if I was to say, if we're thinking about an immunosuppressant bomb to blanket the planet, if I say a new life or an old life, does that spark any creative ideas with you? I'm not the scientist or the doctor. One must be given.
Blanketing this area with an immunosuppressant, given that we don't know the biology of the creature, could be fatal. Or it could do nothing. It could just make it angrier. As the Federation, we don't have the right to determine whether one life form lives over another. That's not our job. As a Renardian, I respect all forms of life, and higher forms of life can surprise you. I feel like this form, this mortal form that we have, I think of it as a lesser life form. The planet is the superior life form. That is just my opinion, though.
Is it possible to communicate with this giant rock?
Well, she like rolls back over, and like her biosuit is all covered in dust, and she's looking down into the crater again, and she's like, I think it's asleep. She'll hold her tricorder out to Lieutenant Esper, and she'll show Esper some of the unique features that she's been able to scan now that you guys have been on the surface. Overlaying the scans from the ship, it almost looks as if the planet has some type of armor under the rock layer and under the liquid layer, and it looks like it is interlocked in a very particular pattern, and it does look like it could unfold, which means that this life form is currently compacting its size.
The flower.
Flower, space bug of some kind. There's a human with you, so David, if you look over the shoulder, you can identify what this creature looks like to you. However, I am going to make you roll an insight, and we'll say medicine.
Oh, it's not a planet. This is an actual creature.
Okay. Oh, 4 and a 5. That's good. It looks like a roly-poly.
Roly-poly.
Yep. Looks like a roly-poly when it's rolled up into a ball.
This
I'm
is
trying to
an,
visualize that.
this is an actual creature. It's not a planet. These people need to leave before they all die. To allow the new life to flourish, we need to go.
I will say I love the reference that Chad is making right now.
We need to
I'm
go.
not looking at chat. What's going on?
It's a reference to a different sci-fi show, but I believe that Chad's got the idea. How to tell the people, grab your stuff, get on the spaceship.
Yeah. Yep. Time to go. We need to leave.
I'm sure it's not going to wake up right this second.
Better safe than sorry.
Just because you said that, I'm going to go ahead and spend some threat.
Oh boy.
Oh no! Beam
Here
us
we
up!
go.
Beam us up!
Hold up, let me grab this rock. That
Put
one
the
looks
rock down!
nicer.
Grab the rock.
Slap it out of his hand. Put the rock down.
My
The
bag.
planet. Excuse me. The planet does begin to rumble a little. Captain Bold, on the ship, you are immediately. You hear from the bridge, Captain Bold. We have some seismic activity on the planet and all 3 of the moons.
Copy that.
Moons?
Some
Oh.
Evangelion shit. I'm
Oh,
screaming,
no.
beam us up! Get us out of here!
Send a priority message to Starfleet for evacuation shuttles or ships.
Captain?
One way or another, these people might have to get off the planet later or probably sooner. I want to be safe.
Of course, but wouldn't it be better if you contacted Starfleet for a request like that?
You are correct. Kachan, I have to go. Captain duties. As
He's
I
like,
leave the.
He's like, what is going on in my planet?
Hopefully, nothing too bad. But the same things.
Our captain is such an optimist.
Yeah. So,
Let me get back to you with that requisition order for more weapons, for more non-lethal weapons.
yeah. So everybody reaches the bridge at the same time. You all were beamed up. You were decontaminated. You got out of your environmental suits and you started making your way to the bridge just as the captain reaches the bridge. He took the long way. So at this point, what's everybody doing? You want to look at some scans? You want to call Starfleet?
Debrief me now. I need to get on call with Starfleet.
Doctor.
The doctor's like, Captain, we think that the planet is not actually a planet. It's just a very, very large creature.
So it's possibly volatile. So does that mean we definitely need to get out? So the cure is essentially get them off the planet, correct?
Yep, like right now.
All right.
Well, our problem, though, is that our ship is only capable of an emergency capacity of 500.
Roger. They have other ships in the galaxy?
That's shoving them into the cargo bay.
Well, we destroyed 2 of them. We have 1 that's disabled, so we need to get the other 2 of the 5 here.
Correct. All right.
Those ships are probably not going to be capable of carrying more than a couple hundred passengers each as well.
As many as we can.
And most likely those ships will have to... Anybody that boards those ships are going to have to wear environmental suits because probably 90% of those ships are exposed to space.
Okay. Is there any nearby habitable planets?
Well, I would suggest just moving them to one of their moons, and then suddenly you're like, no, actually, you should take a look at this doctor, scientist person.
Yeah, that was going to be my thought, was to scan the moons.
The doctor comes over and she starts comparing her scans from the surface of the planet to the moons, and she says, "Oh, okay, so that's out. It would seem that all 3 of the moons are just smaller versions of the larger one."
Anari, hail Starfleet.
Oh, they're babies.
We should probably go.
Oh, goodness.
So you hail Starfleet. Appearing on the screen is another Renardian who looks very much like Chidori. Short, headphones, except she's got a pad. Looks like she's playing, some kind of video
it's her
game.
Again.
Well, she's technically your supervising admiral. So she puts down the pad and she's like, "Captain Bold," and then you can see that she can see the whole bridge. So she scans over and she's like, "Chidori, Ensign."
Admiral, sorry for the expeding of my request, but we require as many evacuation shuttles as possible. Anari, I need you to get a scan on a plan and figure out how many people are down there so we make sure we don't request too little. I'm going to send over some data to you. These planets appear to be alive. Their home world, as well as the 2 orbiting planets around it, moons, and 3. And they appear to be killing them, so we need to get them off the planet in order to save these lives.
That's a mouthful, Captain. Yes, let me see what I can do. Please send your report to me immediately.
All right, sending a report now.
She reaches down and she picks up the pad and she actually turns off the game and starts going through the information. She's like, "Yes, I see. This could be quite the problem. I'll actually have to speak with the Federation Council to see how many ships we can get." In your area alone, there are only 3 other starships. The Thunderchild, the Alexander, and the what was the third one? Soyuz. And then so she's like, I will get right on this. In the meantime, I'll immediately dispatch those 3 ships to your location. And then
begin evacuating as many people with the Prime Minister's advisement as we can.
It's
absolutely.
going to depend on how many are willing to go. I
think
think
the willing.
I think
they're-
the reality is that some of them are not going to go.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We need to just get out as many as we can and count
The
our
reality of the
losses.
situation is their planet just started shaking and it's not stopping.
So we'll start with the willing, and then we'll try to, and as we're moving along, we'll try to convince the rest.
We can try to convince them, but I believe the Prime Directive says we can't interfere if they choose to stay. Just be aware of that, Captain.
Okay. Anari was asked to scan the surface. If I can get
Yes.
you to
Figure out how many people are down there.
if you will go ahead and roll me some control and con, and if somebody would roll the ship's sensors, and we're going to do con as well.
8. Should be a
Okay.
success.
7 and 3.
It's going to be 2 successes. Check your focuses for me. Your observation focus will count, so that's going to actually be 3 total successes. That'll
Cool.
get you a momentum. Okay. What you scan is of the world. There are between 7 and 9 billion. Problem is the problem is 2 billion of those life forms seem to be fluctuating, as if they are both there and not.
So 2 billion of them are likely hospitalized and in critical condition.
That's an interesting thought behind that, but
No?
according to what your scans show, is sometimes they're there and sometimes they're not.
Could the planet somehow be interfering with the signal?
Good hypothesis.
Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not.
Electrical magnetic waves? I don't
Planet-
really know how
Is
scans
the
work.
disease changing them? Somehow?
Not sure. Roll. All right. First off, who wants to do this? Who wants to try to figure this out?
Deductive reasoning over here.
Okay. So I've got deductive reasoning. I also have constantly watching, and I have observant. So all 3 of you have focuses that will work in this situation. Deductive reasoning might be the better of them, and you have a high science. So we're going to do reason and science for your role, Captain Bold. And the ship can assist again with sensors and con. However, this time the ship will be rolled by Aaron, please. Just 1 die.
I got a 5 and 18.
Okay. Do you want to spend momentum to re-roll the 18?
11.
Yes. I was wrong. Chat command.
I believe the 11 is I believe the 11 is a success with the ship.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So I've got 3 successes. That's what you needed. Okay.
Does that momentum go back?
No. This time it required all 3. All of the life forms that you're reading as Whirl that keep disappearing are in the crater.
Oh, because that was an explosion at like some kind of facility. They're still alive.
I will not confirm or deny that accusation.
It
in
was
what
our
way, Lieutenant?
It
Make
was
more
our
sense.
it was our belief that the crater was caused by an explosion, at perhaps a facility where they were experimenting with antimatter, power. Um, such an explosion would be devastating to those who were, say, working at the facility or, they're in the area. But we didn't find any life forms there. When we went to scan the crater, we didn't find any raw life forms there, did we?
Didn't you?
We
There was
found the jellies.
Yeah.
You did find the jellies.
My scans are picking those up as life forms as being the same as the raw.
The Warl.
The raw.
So
Is
are
it
they?
getting too late? Does the
So
goldfish brain need another break?
Hey, bloop bloop.
so the planet
Right.
is what these people that died, their essence is somehow merged with the planet.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm reading this correctly, actually.
So, um, Shidori says, how many life signs are fluctuating in and out?
You said about 2 billion?
2 billion?
Is that
Well, according to the report that I had when we first started coming into the system, roughly 2 billion people have died of the infection.
The infection is changing them.
Would it be worth examining one of those people?
One of the ones that are in the crater that have become part of the immune system of the planet.
Yes.
With the planet opening and actively flowering, Captain, I don't think that is a good idea.
All right. So what are our options here to save as many lives as possible?
Well, we have 3 Federation starships. One's a Galaxy class. The Galaxy class ship can carry almost 15,000 refugees. The other 2 ships I'm not entirely familiar with, the Thunderchild and the Soyuz. If the name is any indication, it's probably a Soyuz class, which means it's not much bigger than we are. The Thunderchild.
As many as we can take. We should work with the Prime Minister, get as many as we can take off that aren't.
Are there any friendlies in this? Allies or any neutral parties around here we can ask for help?
I think the only
There
parties around
are-
are Klingons.
The Klingons.
Good luck with that, Captain. No
I
offense.
think they'll help for a bottle of blood wine.
Just one?
Uh,
These are Klingons we're talking about.
Not replicated
Yeah,
blood wine.
Yeah, if
We've
they're
already been
they're
there.
if they're gonna do this, then you need to barter more than just one bottle,
right.
especially since you just got out of a war with them.
I feel like they would take this as an opportunity to take down 3 starships. Or Federation starships that they know are showing up here, right?
So
Right.
here's the thing: there have been a couple tragedies in the Federation conflict with the Klingons, or actually during that time. The Federation has lost 2 Galaxy-class starships and 1 Intrepid-class starship over the past 3 years. Both of the Galaxy-class ships, that they were major blows. One of them was the flagship, the Enterprise, and it was taken down by a single bird of prey, Klingon. The Odyssey was taken down by the Dominion, by 1 attack ship basically doing a suicide run on it. The Intrepid class ship is simply missing. It's the USS Voyager. So Starfleet has taken some heavy losses in just those 3 ships alone. The actual Klingon conflict took probably dozens more. So, yeah, Starfleet's hurting.
What film again was the Enterprise destroyed? And I don't think I saw that. Or
Star Trek Generations. Star Trek Generations.
So
Was that was one of the old ones, right?
That's the first one with Picard and the last one with Kirk.
And that
Okay.
took Enterprise D.
I took the Enterprise
And-
D.
And later they reconvened on Enterprise E, which
Correct.
became the Enterprise.
So there's no possible way to convince them to provide aid.
I didn't
Or
say
we-
that.
Oh,
You just offered one bottle of blood wine. I'm like, you're going to have to offer probably more.
all right. What's the best thing to offer them to assist? Or can I make a roll for that?
You can definitely make a roll. You're wanting to know whether you can convince the Klingons to come and help.
Yeah, something maybe in honor and bribery.
I have 2 batleths that I stole from Klingon warriors. I'm sure
didn't
their
steal
houses. No, that I
No.
took with honor.
You took them in honorable combat.
Would their houses prefer them back?
They might see that as disrespectful, actually.
How about the
okay.
chance to win them back in a fight?
Against who? Me? I don't think so.
I tell you what, Captain Bold. Respect is earned by both parties and should never be expected. That is one of your values. I will allow you to challenge said value to spend your determination to make contact with the Klingons and see if they will help.
Otherwise, Starfleet is on their way, right?
Starfleet is on their way with 3 ships.
Like I said, Captain.
The Klingons are far better equipped to handle this at the moment, especially since the Farasin tend to side with the Klingons. The Warl seem to be genetically similar to the Farasin, in which case the Klingons would probably want to tap that as a potential resource. So your chances of negotiating with the Klingons to help with this rescue mission are actually better than you think. Using your determination will guarantee, in this situation, that a Klingon fleet will arrive to assist. Are you going to get everybody? Not a chance.
Get as many as possible.
Evacuating 7 billion people and having to use, special protocols to keep them from infecting other people with a sickness, it's going to be rough. It's going to be tough. I will say that the Klingons would probably be willing to send a Negbar, 2 Vorcha, several D7 battle cruisers, and a fleet of birds of prey.
All right.
So, do we want to do that? Do you want to spend your determination and use your value? Respect is earned by both parties and should never be expected.
Yes,
Okay.
I'll do that.
Then, building upon that, what that means is that during the Klingon conflict, you earned respect from one of the great houses in battle for one of your maneuvers. So that will be added to your backstory.
Good job, Captain.
Go ahead and spend your determination.
Dazo or Dasso, I'm probably saying that wrong, said that the Thunder Child is an Akira class.
Oh, I know what the Thunder Child is. Chidori
okay.
didn't.
Gotcha.
It's Das Ogrefied.
Das Ogrified. Got it.
Mhm. Yes.
Only weak
Yes.
against heat rays.
Yes, I knew what the Thunder Child was, but Chidori didn't. She's medical.
Fair.
Yeah. So Chidori would know also, but again, and you also could have just looked it up in
True.
your data files. So,
Sure.
so an Akira class ship is going to be slightly larger than yours. It's a scale 5, and you've got the Galaxy class, which is a scale 6. Then you got the Soyuz, which is also a scale 4. So, but the evacuation capacity of the Galaxy is what you're really looking for. They can offload personnel at the starbase near the Expanse they can rush over with a skeleton crew, and they can pick up 15,000 refugees.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Well, most of the ship is empty space. If you start putting people in hallways, cargo bays, shuttle bays, that ship's massive. So,
Well, Captain, what of the
Uh,
Klingons?
so we're gonna say a couple hours pass as you communicate with, we'll say one of the great houses in the Empire. They agree, especially given the circumstances of them being seemingly an offshoot of the Ferocans. And it's going to be a couple of days. And in that couple of days, you're going to stay and monitor the situation. The seismic activity has ups and downs. It grows and then it kind of docils down for a bit. During that time, more of the Warl fall sick. More of them die, and the number of fluctuating signatures in the crater goes up as their population goes down.
It's absorbing them.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Welcome to Star Trek.
Ah,
Yeah.
absorbing their life goop.
Yeah, basically, they dispose of their dead in their own way, and then their dead seem to be coming back to life. So, if we ever move into a second episode, zombie Star Trek, anyone?
This time you can aim for the head.
If you think about it, though, I mean, we bury our dead, and they return to the Earth the same way.
And
Well,
that
it
seems
takes
to
a
be what's
longer-
happening here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Except
no, that
it's-
makes sense.
Except the planet seems to be building them up to be a defense mechanism for itself. With that, though, congratulations! You all discovered the conspiracy of the planet. You discovered that it was a life form. I commend you. And that is Star Trek for the evening.
Very
I hope
nice.
you all had fun. The audience, I hope the audience had fun.
Fully engaged. Pun intended.
Chat, you guys were awesome. I loved reading all
Yeah.
of that. That was great.
Yeah, I'm actually
I'm-
probably going to go back and reread the chat because I was only able to glance at it from here, from time to time.
Yeah, and if it wasn't obvious, I'm a fair weather Star Trek fan, but this has been great, and it's really inspired me to go and watch more. So this has been fantastic between the one shot and the off-stream one shot and this one. This is a wonderful system. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, it's pretty fun.
Oh
like I
yeah.
said, you guys are all invited to, continue playing with me if you'd like. There's a couple people in the audience I know that like Star Trek as well. We might be able to get something together on like a Sunday or a Monday. We can continue playing. Maybe even change ships a little bit because this was a specific ship for the one shot. The USS Alan Hart was named after one of the first transgendered scientists in our community. So they helped with some of the tuberculosis research back in the 30s and 40s. So, and that brings me back to the charity. We are still raising money for our LGBTQ plus charities. And if you all enjoyed and you feel like donating, please do. There's also a giveaway. Everybody who donated during the stream today, and if I missed a donation, I apologize. But if you donated during the stream, you will be entered into a contest to win prizes here at the end of the stream, and that will be by Fool's Moon Inc., Entertainment Inc. And yeah, thanks for joining us tonight, and have a good one.
Absolutely. Thank you
Enjoy.
guys thank you guys for being here and being part of our stream.
Mhm.
And stick around because I believe we are having another game coming out up after this.
Oh yes, I don't even think we were the halfway point. I think the halfway point's the next game. Next game is, what is the next game? Metahumans Rising, I think.
Which should be
So-
fun. Yes.
Should
Yep.
be. However, I'm going to bed. So I've been
Yes.
up for too long
Likewise.
today.
Yes, so stick around if you can. Some of us are gonna head off for the night.
Oh yeah, same here.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Support trans kids, and thank you all for all of your support.
Kudos to the one in chat who made the Divine Shadow reference. Not many people know about that sci-fi show.
Oh yeah, I like that show. I was just looking for other stuff.
Yep. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Captain Bold signing off.
Very nice.